Really interesting to talk to Shane Steichen today about the game yesterday against the Bills. A lot of stuff to clean up, but a lot of stuff to feel pretty good about. It kind of gives you a place, a starting point to say, okay, here's where we're good. Here's where we're not so good. We got to get the not so good better, and we got to get the good better too. We got to figure out a way to hold the players accountable while making it positive at the same time, just 4 weeks out before that first game. What I wanted to know, and you'll hear the question, I wanted to know, Isaiah McKenzie said he was responsible for the pick. Anthony Richardson said he was responsible for the pick. And yesterday and today, Shane Steichen said it was on him. Well, who was it? Was it all of them? And if it was, why were they guilty? And how are they guilty?
Had a chance to watch the tape. Kind of like I said yesterday, some good and bad, some things we got to clean up. But like the effort the guys played with, and really looking forward to this week, getting Chicago in here for 2 days, good 2 joint practices with them, and then playing on Saturday. So it'll be good. With that, I'll start with questions.
We'll start with Mike Chappell.
Coach, when you take these teaching moments, is it easier or better to teach the good or the bad? Which do players respond to?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, the corrections are the biggest piece. You got to clean up what needs to be cleaned up. There's always little things throughout the game, alignment stuff, technique stuff, but get those corrections taken care of first and foremost. But obviously, praise them when they do a good job. It goes both ways. It's the accountability part of it. And we learn from those things. We grow from them, coaches and players.
In that regard, after video review, what was your impression of Anthony?
Similar to what I said after the game. What I really liked is the poise he had, the command he had. You throw an early interception, how's he going to respond to that? And I thought he responded tremendously. Came back, he had 2 good drives. I thought he did a really nice job for his first time out.
Raven.
Coach, a lot has been made about the rookies and how they would perform in their first NFL action. But I mean, for you, yesterday was a first as well, your first game as an NFL head coach. So what was that experience like being the main guy on the sideline?
Excitement, just thankful and grateful for the opportunity to be out there and, lead a group of men, obviously with everyone else and all the coaches and the support that I've been given. It was exciting. It was exciting to go out there for the first time. I know it's preseason, but it was still fun. Always look forward to game day. I don't, you never take it for granted. I'm just excited.
James.
Shane, how did you see, number one, Anthony just prepare for the moment? I know he got there super early, probably the first guy out. And then number two, just mechanics wise, how was it just seeing him kind of get that first NFL rush and maybe teaching him or letting him know you can't like revert back to, stuff you might have got away with in college?
Yeah, no, I thought he was prepared well. Obviously, he got to the game really early. He was prepping, all week, getting ready for that thing. There's always little things you can clean up, mechanically, and we continue to work through those things. But like I said, I was really pleased with the way he played, really pleased. He showed, signs of, coming along, obviously through training camp, and then get his first game action out there with on the road in Buffalo. It was good to see. He did a lot of good things.
George?
With Blake Freeland, what did you see from him, from the spring and the summer that gave you confidence that he could start this game? And then also, how did he grade out on Saturday?
He played good. Obviously it was his first game action, but, he's a long athletic guy that can move well. And to get him out there with the first unit to see where he was at, things, you got to learn from, just like with any young player. But excited the way he played. I think he's got a real promising future here.
Greg?
Hey, Shane. Is Richardson starting against Chicago? And really more to the point, I care more about the next question. Is he starting the season opener? And I got one more.
Yeah. We haven't made that decision yet. We always talk through those things later in the week on, who's playing in the preseason games. And then I haven't made a decision yet on the starting quarterback.
Kent?
But I asked you also about your season opener.
Yeah, I haven't made a decision on that.
Oh, okay. The other question is, it feels like you guys are waiting to see from Richardson as much his poise, and if you think he can handle the moment. Like, we all know he's good enough to play eventually, but did he show you enough last night he can handle.
Yeah, he did some good things. Like I said, his first game action in Buffalo on the road, in that environment. I mean, it was packed there for a preseason game, and just the poise he played with. He knew where to go with the football. Like I said, we had that one first interception, and that's on me, coaches, myself. We got to do a better job helping him there, put him in those situations. Thanks, Greg.
Kent, go ahead.
Hey, Shane, with the interception, Isaiah during the TV broadcast claimed responsibility that it wasn't on Anthony. Anthony claimed responsibility. You're claiming responsibility. How did the thing break down specifically, and how are all people guilty in causing that?
Yeah, I think that, communication, it starts myself coaching, putting them in those situations. We had a run called and they brought an edge pressure that we got to have an answer for. And we just had a little miscommunication there, and we got to put them in those situations and practice more. And that's why I say it starts with coaching. I think it all starts with coaching. When stuff like that happens, we got to do a better job in those situations.
How his recognition for a first-time starter in a preseason, that kind of situation, how would you grade that?
I mean, he knew we knew the situation when he brought it. We knew we had to have an answer for that, and just the way the coverage played out and how they matched it up, and it was tight coverage. We got to put him in that exact situation, because we have those situations where it is, but it might be a little looser coverage. It was tight. The guy came down tight, and there was a communication. We got to do a better job in practice putting him in those situations.
Cat?
Yeah, Coach, was there anything else except for Luby's concussion?
We were pretty clean. There was like little nicks, but nothing serious, nothing serious.
One other thing, is there any update on Taylor? Will he be here this week, or what can you tell us?
Yeah, he should be back this week. Do I know the exact date that he'll be back? No, but he should be back.
And again, you don't know whether to expect him to practice.
Yeah, exactly. Once the medical staff clears him, he'll be back out there.
James?
Shane, how would you assess just the running back performance yesterday? Obviously, Evan Hull got the start. Deion Jackson had some good runs. What do you think of just what flavor they gave you in the backfield?
It was good. It was a little bit of, I thought Deion did a really nice job. He had some big runs. We had an outside zone that he popped, and the hole got kind of jammed up, and then he bounced around the edge, made a big play. Thought he ran physical, did a good job. And then Evan, his first game action out there, I thought he did a nice job, caught a little screen, hit one for, a good 15-yard gainer, 10 or 15 yards. And then Funk did a nice job, and then getting Drake in there, and Jason Huntley got a touchdown. Funk got a touchdown. Overall, it was good to see all those guys go out and compete.
Raven?
And Coach kind of talking about rough first drives. I mean, that first drive for Gardner wasn't that great either, getting those back-to-back sacks, ends up going 3 and out. Then very next drives goes 6 for 6, leads you guys on a touchdown. Just kind of talk about his performance and what you saw from him yesterday.
Yeah, no, he did a nice job. Obviously, the first drive, we had the 2 sacks there, and then for him to bounce back, and he didn't miss, it was good. A veteran guy that's played, knows how to operate the system, sees it, gets the ball out of his hands. He bounced back, had a great 2-minute drive there at the end of half. Just operating that whole system. I thought he did a really nice job.
And then just kind of switching things over to the defensive side of the ball, looking at the cornerbacks. I mean, Darrell Baker and Dallas Flowers get the start on the outside. What did you think of their performance?
I thought they were solid. Those guys, Dallas has played for a while, and Baker's been coming along. Excited about those guys. And then, the young guys with Juju getting out there, and Rush and Jones, and Rush, getting the interception. That was awesome to see that when you can score on defense.
Last question for Greg.
Hey, has Lucas, H alphabet kicker, has he shown enough in practice to be competing with Gabe for the job, especially in light of Gabe missing that shot kick yesterday, or is Lucas more as a project with his big leg?
Yeah, Lucas came in, obviously give us some depth there. Matt is our kicker, but like Lucas's ability, he can shoot, he can even punt if we need him to, but I like Lucas, like where he's at. Obviously, those guys know, we got to be better there in those situations kicking, but excited about both those guys.
That's Shane Steichen. I want to remind you that if you want to win an Anthony Richardson alternate jersey, one of those Indiana Knights jerseys with the trim on the side and the black trim for the numbers, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, and you've got to subscribe to Two Big Brains as well. And join us tomorrow morning at 6:45 for Breakfast with Kent. But I thought Shane Steichen was really, really good today. I thought it was I like relaxed version of Shane Steichen. And what I really like, too, because it takes two kinds of leadership to, I think, get the most out of a team. One, you pat them on the butt and you say, hey, good job. And you extract the good out of them by complimenting the good. And then sometimes you got to kick them in the butt. And you've got to, get them to improve through negative reinforcement, through calling people out, through holding them accountable in sometimes a critical way. And I think Shane Steichen's a guy who's pretty adept at doing both. And I thought his answer to my question about the responsibility for that pick, I thought that kind of spoke to what he views as the team's responsibility in running a play and how things work in practice and why they do things in practice, how they prepare for an opponent and how they prepare to, audible from a run to a pass and keep everybody on the same page. I thought it was kind of interesting.